This is the third edition in a series of videos that demonstrate how I create a training plan. In the first two videos, we created an outline, a template with anchor sessions, long runs and races. Today we are going to design the blend of sessions in the weeks leading up to the race. I've listed the phases in the diagram on my right. The purpose of each phase is to prepare us for the next one. Race prep is preparing us for the race. Quality and strength is preparing us for the race prep phase. And early quality is preparing us for strength and quality phase. So it makes sense when scheduling sessions we start from the race and work backwards. Like everything, there are exceptions. There might be aspects you want to start addressing early. If the bike course has big climbs or technical ascents, you may want to start practicing these from the start of the program. In my case, I'm concentrating on my weakness, which is the long run. But for the most part, each phase is preparing us for the next one. And when we look at race prep, the next phase is the race. We'll start with the swim sessions. I struggle swimming solo, so I prefer squads, which means I have to fit into the squad timetables. So easiest to start with the swims and work the other sessions around them. We will set the Tuesday and Friday morning swims to 4 kilometres. In earlier phases, I would be arriving late and leaving early. Now I need to do the full squad set, which is usually around 4k. I'll also add in a Monday squad session at a different pool, which is generally 2.5k, and I'll slot in a Wednesday afternoon swim. In September, these will be 3k squad sessions. Hopefully October will be warm enough to do 2k open water swims in the bay. During recovery week, the swim volumes will drop a little and I will skip the Wednesday swim. Whereas recovery is an instant drop in volume, taper is gradual reduction over time. So the first taper week only reduces Friday's swim distance, and the volumes continue to ease off over the second taper week. We keep the Wednesday swim during taper because I want to maintain that feel for the water. For me, I find swim form drops off really quickly. I can miss a week cycling or running and barely notice, but a week out of the pool feels like I haven't swum for a month. So I usually aim for a 10-week swim focus leading into an A race. And swimming is less prone to injury, needs less recovery time, so an easy and safe way to build up that training load. Each active 3-week block is followed by a recovery week or taper. I like to end these big blocks with a big session. During the earlier phases, this has usually been a race on the last Sunday of that block. During race prep, I haven't scheduled any races, so instead I'll have a big brick session / race simulation on the last Saturday of the block, followed by a rest day on the Sunday. I don't schedule many days of no training, but if I do, I find Sunday works the best. Having a rest day on a weekday doesn't feel the same when you've still got to go to work. 2 weeks out from the race, we will schedule a big brick session, looking at a 100-kilometre bike followed by a 12k run. Moving up to the end of the previous block, we'll schedule brick repeats. Without going into a lot of detail, this is roughly a 1-hour ride followed by a 25-minute run, repeated 3 times. For the other Saturdays in the race prep blocks, I'm going to schedule hilly and long rides. I'm a big fan of doing climbs on the bike. The hill forces you to sustain the effort, and gravity will expose any dead spots in your pedalling stroke that aren't quite so evident on the flat. I have scheduled the long rides on the Saturdays following the Thursday long runs. Being aerobic, they should be relatively easy on my legs. Not sure how I'd handle the more intensive hilly rides 2 days after a long run. With that sorted, we'll now look at the midweek runs and rides. This is a part of the plan which is probably the most different to what I would have done 5 years ago. Older, with less powers of recovery, trying to blend in those harder sessions becomes far more difficult. During race prep, I will join a club ride session every Wednesday morning. After a warm-up, this ride splits into different groups which can be easy, medium or hard. So each week I can choose the option that best fits in with the other sessions. Again, we'll start at the end and work back, looking at the runs. Thursday should be aerobic to save the legs for the Saturday brick. So I'll schedule a hard run for Tuesday. This means the Wednesday ride will be easy, but I can add a hard velodrome session on Thursday. Back 1 week, at 3.5 weeks before the race, we'll make this long run the longest at 2.5 hours. This means we need to back off the other sessions. So Tuesday run becomes aerobic and we can take the easy option for Wednesday morning's ride. And we'll skip the velodrome on Thursday. Back 1 more week, I feel we need more of a bike focus this week, so hard option on Wednesday morning, followed by a velo session on Thursday morning. Therefore, Tuesday and Thursday runs become aerobic to save the legs for the rides. And now for the Sunday sessions. We've already scheduled a rest day after the big brick session, so that's only 2 Sundays we need to work out. Looking at the last block, with the midweek bike focus in the first week, I think that Sunday should be a medium run, maybe tempo intervals. Possibly a little ambitious at the end of a relatively hard week, but hopefully my body will be conditioned by this stage, and I can change it to an aerobic run if I don't feel up to it. Looking at the next Sunday, in most cases I would think the brick sessions we have already scheduled would be enough, but with my primary focus on the run leg, I'm going to add a run focused brick. Roughly 45 kilometre ride followed by a 12 to 15k run. I'm pretty happy with how that blend of sessions worked out for those last 3 weeks, so I'm simply going to duplicate the blend for the first 3 weeks. But having the same blend doesn't mean all the sessions are going to be the same. Every swim and velodrome session will be different, and a hard run session could be threshold intervals, it could be a fartlek, it could be Yeso 800s, and the rides and the runs can be in different locations. But we'll talk more about session specifics in a later video. So all we have left now are the sessions in recovery week and taper. The only thing we need to add in a recovery week is an easy Wednesday ride. Looking at the taper, I want the first Tuesday run to be a 90 minutes aerobic pace. I like the idea of having a longish run about 10 days out from the race. Both Wednesday rides will be optionally hard. If I'm sore, I'll go easy, but ideally I like some short hard sessions in taper as long as my legs feel good. Likewise, we'll add optional velodrome sessions. Given the choice, I'd probably select the velo over the Wednesday ride, as this will be on the tri-bike in full race setup, so more race specific. I've decided to remove the ride on the last Saturday. There's usually enough to do with registration and bike check-in, so I'd rather relax than worrying about getting in a taper ride. And so we have completed the blend of all the sessions in the race prep phase. Hopefully you've understood the process we've gone through to create this blend. One thing I'll point out is you can't then move sessions around. That will just destroy the blend. So a missed session is missed. For instance, even moving the Wednesday swim to Thursday night would mean that we're swimming a night and then straight away again the next morning, and that would probably overload my arms. If we moved the Thursday run to Friday, again, there's not enough recovery between that run and the Saturday ride. In regards to the priority of sessions, I would say the most important would be the 2 big brick sessions and the long runs. The least important would be the Monday swims, because that would turn an easy day into a rest day. But everything else works as a link in a chain, so changing one session really means you'd have to redesign that whole week. I hope you found the video interesting. I hope you learnt something. Would love to see your experiences with training plans in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. See ya.